Welcome, one and all, you Gold Star gamers, to another edition of iSock at StarCraft. I'm your host, Mike, the iSock Gleason, your fellow D&D buddy, and we are going to be featuring a game where I'm going to teach you how to proxy. A lot of TVZ matches. You see a lot of Bass Zerg League or a lot of Bass Roach where you verse Zerg, and you will see that in both these games that I'm going to cast for you. So let's go ahead and get into it. As we see, we're starting out just perfectly standard timing. You hit 10, you build your supply depot. That's rather standard, so you can start building your barracks until you have a little bit more supply, and typically your supply depot finishes just as your last worker completes. So boom, you're good to go. You can produce more workers, and we're going to start off with one barracks, and now we're going to scout. I'm going to scout about and check up on our other player. And I really do like a proxy build on both Terran versus Zerg and Terran versus Terran. It tends to add a lot of early pressure, especially if your opponent tends to move out early and tries to apply early pressure on you, and little does he know, he's going to pay for it. So proxies are a great way to do that. And if you notice, let's back that up just a little bit. Back it up just a little bit. Notice the timing in this. I could have thrown down my first, but I'm waiting to see, is there somebody here? And then I know to start my proxy instead, but I don't, so instead I opt to build two barracks here, right here in my base, instead of going for the proxy. But as you'll see in the next one, that it is much better to go the other route and start your proxy. Another thing I like to note here is that look at that rally point. I set the rally point on what's going to be my proxying SCV here that's doing the scout. Awesome to do that. You really want to do that. And here's bad me. I'm not producing any SCVs, nor am I calling down mules. I'm more or less looking at my SCV, watching it. What is it doing? But now I'll get back to macroing up my army and throwing down the mule like I should have done about a million years ago. But we are going to have lots of nice early pressure. I already know that this has to be where my opponent is. I know this is where my opponent's been here, I haven't seen anything. Therefore he is here. And what's the first thing to do? Bam! There's the barracks. There's a proxy barracks. Here's the third. So we're already up to 4 barracks now. So this is a brilliant play. Basically, you do your proxy as best you can. Normally, this is not how you usually want to do a proxy, but hey, you're already somewhat committed. And what does our opponent know? Let's note, the computer doesn't know that there is a proxy here. Has no idea that I have whole bunches of stuff sitting right there. And I already have another proxy set up, so that's 5 racks, all ready to go. Hopefully I really start macroing up, because I really need to be. Right, and there you go. You're going to see more macro. I already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 greens down. And we do have the roach starting to scout where I'm at. And this is great. Right now would actually be the perfect time to move out, as these roaches are just kind of meandering around, trying to figure out, where is he? So actually this worked out greatly in my favor, that he's going to be completely out of position by the time this all starts really cooking. And you're going to see the emergency bunker go down as a just in case here. Meanwhile, this Overlord's huffing and puffing. I'm going to get there. I'm going to scout him. Now, the Zerg already knows exactly where I'm at. That's why you see the beeline happening. Unfortunately for him, it's going to be too little too late by the time this all gets done, as you'll see. Holy frickin' Marine Batman. He commences his attack. I already have a million frickin' dudes. Yes, I know now. This is the time to move out. He is completely off guard. He is not going to get back in time to deal with any of this. Now is the time to go. And as you'll see, bring the SCV along just for additional... Oh, look at the beautifulness. Now he's close to supply block. He is going to still continue to try to cause damage here. And now I'm in the base and I'm causing massive damage. Hooray for massive damage. Keep it going. These Proxy's still doing their job. I even got a few Marines not doing their job getting over here, but that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. As you'll see, we're all rallied right into the base. His few how many roaches do we got here? I count 6. 6 roaches trying to deal with all this. That's not gonna fly. Especially with this amount of Marines. Like, this is just huge. Try to keep him supply blocked, to keep it his supply low so he can't produce many things at all. Now he can't produce anything but queens and drones, so big trouble, big trouble, big trouble. And yes, these roaches are going to come way too late for this many Marines. And that's your advantages with Marines, is that, yeah, you can't take them up in a straight fight, but you have mobility. Mobility is the key of doing mass range. And this game's already over, so let's go ahead and stop that. And we will go on to our second game that I want to show you, where we'll do another proxy, but this is optimal proxy. This is where you really want to do a proxy. This proxy was kind of because it took me so long to even set up the proxy. The next one, perfect example, it's when you want to throw down the proxy.